Okay, now, so let's try to understand what is a host name. Host name is a label which is assigned to a device connected to a computer network that is used to identify that device in the network. Okay, now what is a network? Network can be a small network, local network, it can be like internet is also a network, big network. So actually this name is used differently in different types of networks. Firstly, let's take example of local network, or let's say a single computer is there, right? So in that you can find the host name of that particular computer by typing this command host name in the terminal. So for example, this computer which I am right now, I can simply type a command called host name, and then if I do enter, then I will get the name of my computer in my local network. So this is just a name, right? But the meaning of this host name in remote environments, like let's say in hosting servers, right, the term hostname is sometimes meant as domain also, right? So for example, if a web server, if a server is hosted at example.com or app.example.com, then we will say that the host name is example.com. So this is just a nuance where the meaning of the host name term is generally different in the different contexts. Okay, now there is a special type of host name called localhost. Now that localhost is a special host name that refers to the current device used to access it. This is a special one, right? Which means that uh, I don't know, like whenever I will use this host name, I will always fall back to my own device, right? So for example, you are developing, you are doing a local testing or anything, you just want to get your current device. So this is the purpose of it. Now the localhost resolves to a loopback address 127.0.0.1. So we'll come back to it later that what is this? This is called an IP address. What is the meaning of IP address? Will come back later. But the point is that this is a special IP address used for let's say there are some other IPs also, but let's say this is one of the IPs which is used to access local computers through this host name localhost. Now, there is some intricacies like loopback network interface is a special interface to access network services that are running on your current host, right? Without going through the local network like LAN interface is there, no? You don't go through that. It bypasses the whole thing because there's no need, right? I'm not going to some other computer in the network. I am like trying to simulate an environment of network on my own computer, right? So there's no need of all those things. Anyways, if you don't understand some of these things, just no need to worry. It's just that we are going through some of the concepts now. What is a port, right? Port is basically, sometimes you will see that when domain names are written, like for example, let's say Google is there, right? Now you'll see that when domain names are there, sometimes you will see that here port number is also written. Let's say something like 80, right? So by default, HTTP has 80 port and HTTPS has 443 port, right? So this is what. So try to understand what is this port. What this port is doing is that, okay, google.com, like some server is there where google.com is there, that is fine, but that server might be doing n number of things, right? How will it know that my request where it is, where it has to serve, right? So you can understand ports are like doors of the building. So there's a building and there are multiple doors, and at different doors different services are offered. Now you have to see that at which door I have to go to get that service. That is the purpose, right? So you see that if you do 443 and enter, see, it will still open. Why? Because I know that 443 is the port at which HTTPS is served, right? And that's why it worked fine, right? So that is like implicit. Even if you don't type it, it assumes automatically that thing. So you understand that I told you like 443 is for HTTPS, right? Similarly, for unsecured HTTP, 80 port is there. And these things just for you don't need to know these things, but there is some file transfer protocol. They are generally standard at 21 port. SSH is basically the connection, right? So let's say I am here which is like which is at my local computer, and then I want to, this is like a MacBook, but let's say I am going to, let's say some AWS computer, right? See, what happened here is that I connected from shell to my remote computer, and the connection is persisting. So see, it is Ubuntu, as you can see that I have logged into Ubuntu, right? Which means that this is a remote computer connected right now from this shell. That is one of the purposes for SSH, right? So I just give you a brief. You don't need to know much of it, yeah, and we will learn about some of these later. But the point is that 22 port is so this computer, right? This computer, let's say there is some web server also running here, but there is some SSH is also running here, right? Right, SSH server, which is serving my request. Right now I just connected, right? Somebody responded with some response so that I could connect, right? That thing is running at that server's 22 port. If that server has some website running at HTTPS, that server's 443 port. You understand? These are the different doors that different services are being offered, right? So from now on, if somebody tells you that this port, that port, don't feel that what it is complicated, some computer science term. It is a very simple thing, which once you understand, you can also use these terms confidently. Now, this is an important concept. There is a concept of origin, right? What is origin? So there are multiple things I told you. There is a host, which is like in remote terms it is domain. This port just now I mentioned. There is a protocol like HTTP, HTTPS, SMTP, FTP, whatever those things were there. Na, those are protocols. Protocols, again I said, right? Set of rules for communication over the internet. That is a simple definition of it, right? That protocol is sometimes also known as scheme. So you can say HTTP protocol or you can say HTTP scheme, right? Now, a combination of all these three things, a protocol or scheme, a domain and port. Protocol, domain and port, all these three combinedly are referred to as origin. By that I mean that, see, this example, this URL is there, right? So I did not mention anywhere path, right? So path does not matter, right? What matters is port, what matters is domain name, what matters is scheme. So you see that schemes are different. Schemes are, sorry, same here, right? Okay. If all three are same, then we say that the origin is same. Any one is, at least one is different. Even if one is different, then we say that these origins are different, right? Why it is so important? Because in web development, there is a concept of same origin and cross origin is very important, and you will get frequent issues. But if you understand these concepts here, then you can very easily resolve those issues. That yes, it is obvious that this error will come because you understand why that error is coming, right? So you understand, right? Why these origins are same? Because their schemes are same, their domains are same, and their ports are also same. Why? Because see, 80 port is here, that is fine. But here, if nothing is there, then you have to decide based on the scheme that what is the default port should be used, right? And just now we mentioned that for HTTP, the default port is 80. For HTTPS, the default port is 443, right? Which means that if no port is there, by default, definitely it would have been served at 80. Then port is also matching, right? So that's why these two origins are same. Next example. Again, this see, HTTPS is there and domain is same, and here is 443, and so definitely here also no port is there and HTTPS is there, so definitely 443 would have been the default port, and that's why these two are also the same origin. Let's look at some examples of cross origin, right? First of all, what is cross origin? First of all, what is same origin? Two objects have the same origin when all these three things are same. Simple, right? Only when scheme, hostname and port all match. All of them match. Then it is called same origin. Even any one of them does not match, then we say it is not same, the origins are not same, and that's why these objects are at different origins, which means that these objects are cross origins, right? Cross or objects at cross origin, you can say like that also, right? Now we will get some examples of different origins. So this is one of the examples, right? You see, HTTP port is there, domain is same, but you see port, this by default it would be 80, here 8080 is there, so definitely these are different, right? Let's see here okay, 8080 it will be same, this is same, but see scheme is different, so schemes is different, so again this is a cross origin, simple, right? Let's take another example, different origins. So you see that okay, all schemes are same, all ports are also same, but the domains are different. See, example.com and www.example.com are not same, right? On websites when you open, it might feel that it is same, but actually internally this is the base domain, right? And anything, if there is a dot before that, that is called a subdomain. So it is the base domain, it is www subdomain of example.com, this is app subdomain of example.com. So definitely these, and in each subdomain is treated as a separate, complete different website altogether. So you think it like it is completely different, right? So definitely these things are not matching, and that's why these are examples of different origins, because host names are not matching. Let's take one final example. The different origins which are like differing in two ways. Like even if one difference is there, then also they are different. Here though you will see that two things are mismatching. Schemes are also mismatching, and or host names are also mismatching. Just example that more than one things can also mismatch, and that is also an example of thing where we say that these origins don't match, and that's why these things are cross origin.